Hello friends! Welcome back to the channel and welcome back for another episode of our Tiny Town Challenge. And today is going to be our finale episode. We are wrapping up with Ziggy Yarn today, so let's waste no more time, open up the game, and get started. So the really fun news about this episode is that my microphone was actually off the entire time that I was filming. So we're doing it voiceover style today. And as you can see, we kickstarted the episode with Kim asking Ziggy on a date. Hey Ziggy, it's me, Kim. Do you want to go on a date? And so obviously I had to say yes, and we headed on out to go on a date with Kim. And I believe in the last episode our date hadn't gone so well, but she asked us on a date. Who was Ziggy to say no? She's looking beautiful in this wedding dress. I do go into cast later in the episode and pick some new outfits for her. They're mostly just styled outfits, but she couldn't just hang out in her wedding dress forever, so I did give her a couple new outfits. And our date happened to coincide with TV season premiere day, or whatever that holiday is called in The Sims. So we did make sure that Ziggy watched the episode so that we could tick that off from the holiday, as well as go on a nice date with Kim. Overall, the date did go really well. They got their romance level up, and they earned the romantic satisfaction. Like, each one of them has different satisfaction levels in their relationship, and I believe they were both very satisfied, which was fun. Yeah, so opening up their relationship panel, he was just satisfied, and we didn't know what her satisfaction level was because you have to ask, and didn't want him to seem too forward, so he didn't ask her how satisfied she was, but we just kept doing some more romantic interactions and building our romantic relationship with Kim. And then Kim surprised us by asking Ziggy if he wanted to be romantic partners, which was really exciting, and Ziggy said yes, so they became romantic partners. So Ziggy and Kim are now in a relationship together, which is very exciting, and we are very happy for the both of them. Aw, and then they shared their very first kiss, which is also really exciting. And Ziggy, being the little love bug that he was, or is, I guess, is very happy in his new relationship with Kim. And we got this pop-up, new romantic dynamic, Steamy. Romantic partners with a steamy romance dynamic gravitate towards romantic socials with each other, especially physical intimacy. Would you describe the romance between Ziggy and Kim as being steamy? And yes, we decided, yes, that would be their relationship dynamic. So while they're in this romantic dynamic state, their romantic relationship will slowly increase over time without us really having to do much, so that's good. So the date went really well, and then Ziggy desperately needed to go to the bathroom and eat something before we sent him home for the night. I guess afternoon. The date was during the day. And then Azure wanted to hang out with us, and I felt bad because, we want to hang out with our tiny town members, but Ziggy needs to make some money and build up his house, so unfortunately we couldn't hang out with Azure. We had to prioritize making all those cross-stitching embroidery hoops so that we could make money, build up our house, and I don't know, maybe provide for Kim. I don't know. So at this point, we had enough cross-stitching embroidery hoops that I wanted to do some selling, but it was very heavily raining in Tiny Town. So we packed up all of his things, and I was looking for a place to go sell. And I decided to go to San Sequoia. There's that little community center, so I thought maybe if we could get close to the community center, that maybe a lot of Sims would spawn and we could sell Ziggy's items. And the little splash pad was really cute, so I decided not even to go all the way to the community center. We just walked on over to the little splash pad to set up his table and see if people would come. It's always hard to tell in The Sims because I don't know really what factors influence how well they do. I know charisma skill helps. I think the entrepreneurial skill helps. But things like if you do it on the same lot too often, does that impact it in any way? Like if it's always the same Sims coming, are they less likely to buy? That may not have any impact whatsoever. I genuinely have no idea. So I decided to just experiment and leave Tiny Town, try to get some new Sims in a new world. And we had a ton of embroidery hoops to sell. You can see I made the cute little gnomes and the cute little chickens. And the other thing that I haven't figured out yet is I know some of them sell for more than others, but I haven't done any testing to see which ones sell the most. Like, is it always the ones that have cute little animals that sell more, or is it always the like very specific ones, or is it random? I don't know. And I didn't have the patience to test it out and to keep track, so I just had him make the ones that I really like. And I really like the cute like animals and the cute mascots, so I made like gnomes and chickens. And then in that there's a phrases and mascots category, and it's got like a llama and a cute little, it kind of looks like a Pokemon. I can't remember what it's called now. And then it's got like the Brightchester mascot and the Foxbury mascot. So I just made all the ones that I really like and hoped that the Sims liked them too. I feel like I can relate to Ziggy a lot because I am very crafty. I like to do, not cross stitch. I have tried it before, but it's just not my craft of choice. I more enjoy knitting and crocheting the most. And I'm constantly working on too many projects at once, and I have a bad habit of not finishing things, which I don't know. I don't know if Ziggy can relate to that aspect or not. I kind of make him finish everything, but he's like constantly crafting, and so am I. If I'm not playing The Sims, if I'm home, then I'm probably crafting, because my main hobbies are like crafting, dancing, and The Sims, and my job. I really like my job. So for those of you who don't know, I'm a speech therapist for preschoolers and early intervention, so that's like birth to 3. So birth to 3 and preschool for kids who are deaf and hard of hearing. And I absolutely love, love, love my job. So it's almost like a hobby. I know I'm very fortunate to love what I do. Not everybody is that fortunate. But that is off topic from what Ziggy's up to now. We've made quite a bit of money. We're up to 4,000 simoleons. And it's also getting late, and he's gonna have to go to the bathroom pretty soon. I can't remember if I sold everything in this sale. I do know that I try, and there's quite a bit of time left, so we probably do sell everything during this sale. I've also gotten over my dislike of the sales pitches. There was like an episode or two, several episodes ago, and maybe I did it across multiple episodes, where I was complaining about not understanding the give a sales pitch interaction because I thought it was negatively impacting their relationships. But maybe it's because his charisma skill is much better. I haven't really been noticing that as much. So, oh yeah, we are going to have to start another. Oh no, I decided to clear up and head home. But I think maybe if your charisma skill is high, it doesn't negatively impact relationships as often when you give a sales pitch. And now that we are back home after a very successful sale, we've got 5,979 simoleons. We are able to take care of Ziggy's needs. He's got to go to the bathroom, he's hungry, he's tired. And luckily there was some food hanging around in the community center, so a few of you commented on some of my videos asking or saying that I could use some of the extra simoleons from the Tiny Town members to build up the community center. I just didn't think it needed anything extra. They've all got pretty self-sufficient houses. And the community center is just kind of a fun place where they can like play games. There's a restroom there, but it wasn't meant to fully take care of anybody's needs. Anyway, I skipped ahead now, and we are ready to furnish up Ziggy's house a bit. I played a bunch off camera and sold more crafty things, so we're at 13,000 simoleons now. I figured it would just be too boring for you guys to watch him craft, sell, craft, sell, craft, sell. So I edited all of that out. I actually don't think I even filmed a bunch of that. So we're just hopping into working on the kitchen now. And as a reminder, his style is mid-century and his color is yellow. So I did my best to keep everything ticking off both of those boxes without being obnoxious. Like, I didn't pick the yellow swatch in every single thing, which is how I've pretty much done all of the houses. I think some of my houses lean more to their color and others don't. But like the yellow seemed pretty obnoxious to me, and not all of the yellows really match. Like some of them are that really vibrant yellow, like highlighter yellow, and then some are this more pale muted yellow that came in like Dream Home Decorator and stuff. So I had to make sure it at least looked decent when you mix and match the different tones of yellow. So we've got a lot of different wood tones along with the yellow accents. And I think his kitchen turned out pretty cute. Gave him a little pendant light above the island. We snuck in a little smoke detector above the fridge because, you know, you never know when you're going to need it. And then I went through and dug through all of the decorations and clutter stuff. I decided maybe Ziggy was really into tea. Maybe just because I'm really into tea. And I knit and I crochet and I like tea, so I figured maybe Ziggy does too. I don't know. It seems like those two things go hand in hand. And then I was just digging through to try to find some extra clutter things to stick in the back corner to fill up that counter space. So I dug out this little spice rack, the utensil cup holder thing. Yes, that is the technical term. And yeah, that ended up being it. You see, I'm kind of digging through to see if I can find anything else I want, but decided against it. And then I definitely wanted a fireplace. We've got that little chimney set up over there. So there were no fireplaces that were tagged mid-century in the game, but I thought this one fit the vibe of the house. It's small, doesn't take up a ton of room. So thought that would be a good addition. Figuring out the layout for this living room was kind of a challenge because the staircase is in the way, and I knew that that was going to present a problem, but when it came time to actually finish furnishing, I was like, oh yeah, I kind of set myself up on that one. So I ended up sticking a little table in the back of the couch, which made the couch look better because it doesn't stick so far back. So the chair looks better next to the couch now, and it gave a good surface in the back to add some more decor and clutter. I do end up having to move the cross-stitching basket because he can't actually get to it when it's there. I don't even think I move it on camera because I realized when I hopped back into gameplay that he couldn't get to it, and I had to move it. So I ended up putting it on top of the TV stand. And then he also needed a little table where he could sit. So we just went with this little high top table and put it closer to the wall so that there was still a good walking path. I really wanted this little light plant thing to work, but no matter how I tried it, it was clipping. So I believe I put it in the bathroom later on in the build because I really liked it, and it's tagged mid-century. So I was trying to go through and put a lot of things that were tagged mid-century. I'm not very good at like knowing and identifying decor styles, so I heavily rely on what the Sims team tags tell me is belonging to specific decor styles. So I kind of go in blindly trusting the Sims team, which I don't know is the most accurate of ways to do it, but it's working for me. And then I obviously had to use a bunch of nifty knitting in the build also, even though that's definitely not mid-century, but that's what he's making his money off of, so we had to, right? So I was checking the items that came in nifty knitting and putting those in places in addition to things that were tagged mid-century. Throwing a little window above the stovetop in the kitchen and putting some more windows over on the side. And that kind of finishes up the living, kitchen, dining space. He had a couple things in his inventory that I just wanted to plop in to the build, but that was that. And then I remembered that he had knit this cute little poof, but I had put one in already, so I stuck it in his bedroom to deal with later on, because I figured when it came time to decorating his bedroom, we could make it work in there, so I didn't lose the money on the poof that we bought. So, speaking of the other side of the house, which we weren't really, just his bedroom, but now we're into the bathroom. Okay, that segue was horrible, I'm really sorry. But we are now decorating the bathroom. And I wanted a nice, like, fancy looking bathroom for him. We had so much space. It was a really big bathroom space. So he's got the double vanities, which I think look really cool next to each other like that. Obviously the bathtub. Oh, there it is. There's that light and plant object. And that's just about all that I did because we were starting to run low on funds. We're now down to 1,000 simoleons when we started with 13,000. And we still needed money for him to be able to make more items to sell. So I stopped with the bathroom there so that we could spend more time making money, which once again I did off camera, and we're into the bedroom now. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry if this kind of seems all over the place. I was trying to cut out the, like I said, the craft sell, because that gets kind of boring. But now my transitions are a little awkward because I'm doing it voiceover style. So, you know, bear with me on this one. But his bedroom looks super cute. I kept the bed that he had, threw up some curtains. I kept the poof. He got a nice little wardrobe and some end tables, and then a cute little painting above the bed, a plant in the corner, and stuck a little mirror in there as well. I did want to try to find some clutter objects, but I didn't really know what to put. I did remember that he had made this cactus. Pardon the camera angles. I was trying to remember the hotkeys on my keyboard and I kept forgetting. So I decided to put the cactus in there that he knit, and thought that was a cute little decor piece to add. And then just kept digging through to find some stuff that would make the room look more lived in. I'm trying to get better about adding the more cluttery items to my builds. I usually forget to do that, and I think this adds more personality to each of the rooms. So I tried, and I'm still trying, to include that in all of my different builds in the different rooms. So after we were done with the bedroom, it was time to head downstairs to the left side, which is going to be the crafting room. And my vision for this space is kind of like, if you've ever been into a local yarn store, they've got a ton of yarn and supplies for sale, but then they also have a space usually with either a table or couches or chairs or something where they usually will host classes or host crafting groups where you can go and once a week or once a month there's a crafting meetup and everybody works on their projects. and they might host like more organized classes for people to learn how to do those crafts. So I wanted something like that in this space as well. I wanted it to look like you could buy things there, or you could come and just hang out and work on whatever craft it is that you're working on. Maybe Ziggy could teach all of the tiny townies how to knit or something like that. But I didn't know where to put the sales table because it didn't look good. So I added this like courtyard area in the middle and stuck the sales table out there. I don't know that was I don't know how I feel about it, but it's what I ended up doing. And the layout on this and the furniture pieces took me a while to figure out what I wanted to do because I'm very indecisive. So I dug through nifty knitting for this room. I didn't really care about the mid-century feel. I wanted this one to just be like cozy knitting crafting space. So it's pretty much just things from nifty knitting. Yeah, so you can see I'm trying to play around with the layout of the furniture and stuff, and I do end up leaving the crafting circle in this back space. So we've got the couch and a chair and some rocking chairs, and I played around with colors to keep it like fun and vibrant. And I just wanted plenty of seating space so that we could fit. Probably won't ever be all of the tiny townies in this space because you know how the Sims are. It's so hard to get any of them in the same space. So, but I wanted the option to be there in case it ever miraculously happened. So there's plenty of seating. I think the sheep rug is super cute because, you know, yarn comes from wool, and, well, some of it does anyway. And so that was super cute to have in there. And then again, just nifty knitting accessories on the walls and figuring out how I want all of these furniture pieces to go. I played around with making a little pegboard over here. I discovered that I really wish you could piece them together better because you can tell the back of the pegboard is different colors, like as if someone painted it. And I wish you could line them all up so it looked like they were painted to be side by side. I think these three pieces are the only ones that kind of look almost like that. And as you can see, I didn't even end up keeping all three. I kept changing my mind on what I wanted to do. And then I just needed to throw in some other decor items. You know, I know that the knitting baskets need to actually be in a Sims inventory in order to be functional, but Ziggy already has one in his inventory, so I figured throwing a couple around as just decoration would be cute. And then I dug through some more decor stuff to try to find anything that I wanted to add to that crafting room. In terms of what I end up doing on the right side of this downstairs area, I decided that Ziggy could have a little office down there and another bathroom because his only bathroom is the one upstairs. And I figured it could be nice to have one downstairs, especially if he's hanging out in the crafting area, or like if he's hanging out and people are over, they don't have to go all the way upstairs to get into the bathroom. So, and he doesn't have an office either. He's got the crafting area, but no desk and computer. So I make sure there's room for that in the back of this downstairs right-hand area. So the bathroom is really simple. It's just a toilet and a sink, decorated yellow, of course, and that's it. It didn't need to have a shower or anything because it's just a half bath. And then in the back here, I really like how this office turned out. Again, I searched for things that were tagged mid-century. We were able to fit a cute little desk, and I wasn't sure that I was going to be able to afford a computer, but I was. So he gets a little laptop here at some point. And then I threw up these two little paintings that I thought looked cute on the wall. And if you notice, I put in curtains. I am learning to use curtains in my build. I usually don't include them because I don't like how they clip into furniture, and I don't like how they cover the windows, and personally for my gameplay, I don't mind if there aren't curtains, but I do like the way they look sometimes. So I decided, in addition to learning how to use clutter, maybe I could learn how to use curtains. And you can also see I'm playing around with some sort of entryway, these like bright yellow, I don't know what these are called. I would call it a hall tree, but I don't know if that's what they're actually called. This area that they can hang their coats and stuff, I just stuck two right next to each other. They kind of clip into each other, but you can't really see it that much, so I figured that was fine. And then obviously we needed a little entry rug for people to wipe their dirty feet off when they come into the house. And that was it for that right hand side. And at this point I thought that I would be finished with the build. And then I decided that we needed a little outdoor patio space upstairs. So instead of being finished, I made more work for myself. And we didn't even have the budget for it. So then I had to go back into gameplay and make and sell more crafted items because I had enough to get the patio built and the floor down and the doors, but I did not have enough to get any furniture out there. So now we're back into gameplay where Ziggy is going to spend a lot more time crafting and selling and crafting and selling and crafting and selling. So I'm going to cut that part out of the video because that's just really boring to watch. Oh, then I also wasn't sure if anybody was going to show up because I remember having the problem with Azure where when we put the art wall in her house, nobody was able to come in and buy. You can see people coming in to his like courtyard area now. That area is set up as shared space. And I don't know if that's what the impact is or if it mattered at all. But he didn't sell anything. It just wasn't really working. So I don't know. I don't really know why. It could be that these two were unfinished. Then I tried to just get anything to sell. So I threw up random stuff from his inventory. And it just wasn't really working. So we gave up on that. We used our little downstairs bathroom. I packed up all our stuff. And then he was really hungry, so I let him go up and eat. And then I really wanted to get all of the tiny townies to sit in that little crafting space. And look! Oh yeah, the fox died. But look, they're all in here. And by all of them, I mean not all of them, and they weren't even all sitting. And I was desperately trying. Kim came over. I was like, maybe we could teach her to knit downstairs. But then they went upstairs and I got frustrated, so I made them go downstairs. And, they just wouldn't stay. So as predicted, not all of the tiny townies will be hanging out down here, chatting and crafting. But it was a good try. So, yeah. Fast forward, I did some crafting and selling and crafting and selling off camera. We're at almost 3,000 simoleons now. So we're getting close to having enough to furnish that back patio space, but we need some more crafting and selling and crafting and selling. So that's what he's doing now, all the crafting. Okay, so at this point, Ziggy pricks his finger and he doesn't want to embroider or cross stitch anymore. But I had already queued up a bunch. Oh yeah, I say no thanks to this creeper. I had already queued up a bunch of embroidery hoops. And when you do that, he goes and buys them, but then either sticks them on the floor or puts them in his inventory. And technically you can sell those, but it's felt like cheating. So I haven't really been doing that. But at this point, really all we had to do was finish that back patio. And I had already been so long into filming that I didn't want this episode to take a million years long. So I decided, you know what? Let's just sell the ones that are not finished. They're actually technically not even started. All he did was buy the supplies. And I decided to pack up and go back to San Sequoia to sell there because I was hopeful that more people would show up. We would do a better job selling our items, and we could get that back patio just finished. So the other thing that I'm not sure if it impacts how well you sell is if they're completed or not. To me, it seemed like these took longer to sell. So I was wondering if it was maybe because they were not finished, but that could just be me reading into things. It might not actually impact it at all. And I don't know. And now that I'm looking at it and it's sped up, it looks like they're selling much faster than it felt while I was playing. So I don't really know. And yes, I did sell a couple things from my inventory, like mushrooms and milk and stuff. I just wanted to get rid of them. And then it was rebate day. So I was determined that this would be the day that we finished the patio so that we could get the perks of it being rebate day. So, yeah, that just meant that we had to make the money and do the furnishing. So we went back to San Sequoia and set up our sales table once again with all of our unfinished embroidery cross-stitch hoops. And we did it. We sold everything. So it was back to Tiny Town and ready to furnish. So at this point we have 8,196 simoleons, but we also had bills to pay. So I made sure that he did that first. We got down to 8,004 simoleons, and that ended up being plenty for us to furnish this patio space. I did want that like corner couch piece, but there was no way to make it fit in this shape. So we just went with the little love seat. He had the grill in his personal inventory from Father Winter, so I set that up out there. Made sure to paint all the walls that I had forgotten to paint, and then dug through to try to find a nice outdoor patio table. So I got a table and 2 chairs set up out there so that, you know, in case he wanted to eat out there, if he was grilling or he just wanted to bring his food out there, there was a little spot. And then looked for some decorations. We've got this cute little like curtain-y, sequin-y thing. And then this thing looked kind of cool. Kind of reminded me of Gears or something. But it was tagged mid-century, so obviously I had to put it in our build. And then I believe that was it for the patio. Yes. So I stuck a little window in the bathroom. Went through and tried to see if there was anything else I wanted to add around the build, but decided not to. So that ends up being almost the whole build. I did experiment with these, but didn't like them. So I'm trying to think what else I ended up doing to the house, because I believe that was pretty much it. At this point, the roof is not set up, so I do have to go through Manage Worlds and then come back and do the roof because that bug is still there. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm going out to Manage Worlds so that I can come back in so that I could do the roof. So here we go, working out the roof. Oh, and this is when I also realized that most of the house is set as shared space instead of as belonging to Ziggy. So I will have to fix that when we go back into playing from Ziggy's perspective, because I wasn't able to do it from this mode. But I was able to do the whole roof in this mode. The roof does look a little weird if you look at it from the top, but I figured we wouldn't really be looking at it that much, and I liked the way that it looked from the side, so it was fine. I stuck some trim on it, and then we gotta fix the house so that it actually belongs to Ziggy instead of all of it being shared space. And here we go, changing it all to Ziggy. I bet that's why everybody was in his house so frequently, because it was set as being shared space. Then I set up a nice little chimney over here, and this chimney should actually have smoke coming out of it when that fireplace is on in live mode, so I think that's really cute. Also added this cute little awning to the doorway of the knitting crafting room, which I thought was super cute. And then the other thing that I really liked that I did was add this trim between the first and second floors. I think that added a lot to the house. And then it was time to just get the landscaping done. So I did some terrain paint, some plants. Mostly they were from like the ones that you could just buy, but I do believe I end up grabbing some stuff from Debug. I really disliked that the fences had the holiday decorations put up because it was messing up what I was seeing when I was putting Ziggy's fence up, but that's okay. I debated putting up the gates too, but I don't think any other house in Tiny Town has gates, so felt like it would be a little strange if this one had it and nobody else did. Also, Annie and Ziggy have the same fence, just in different colors. Fun fact. Yeah, that tree, and I'm about to put up some little potted plants that all came from regular Build Buy. I wanted something that felt a little bit more structured for Ziggy's plants. Oh, but these came from Debug. These are things that you can knit from Nifty Knitting, but with the bug of him not being able to restart projects after he's like stopped working on them, I just didn't, it wasn't worth the hassle of trying to do it, so I just grabbed them from Debug. And then experimented with some plants that I could stick in this little, I don't know what to call it, like a courtyard. I do like the way that these look on either side here, so I stuck with that. And then I decided I wanted something more crisp down there, so I put that tile there as well. I don't know if it looks the best, but I like it, so works for me. And then that was actually the finished build. So this is all of Tiny Town, which is just wild that we made it all the way through. All of the houses are finished. So let's take a little tour of Ziggy's house. So you come in to the foyer area. We've got the stairway. We've got the like hall tree. I don't know what it's actually called. I call them hall trees, but it's the area where you hang up your coats. You can put your shoes or purses or anything, hang it up there. And then the little bathroom that we've got in here, a nice little half bath. And yes, Ziggy can like gardening. That is totally fine. Back to the tour, we head back into the back room, which is Ziggy's office. So we've got his nice little desk and computer set up. I really like the way the office turned out. You can go through those doors to get to the like courtyard area and walk across to the crafting room. But heading upstairs we've got his adorable little kitchen, which I really like the way that that turned out. And then turning around, we've got his little table, ignore the dirty dishes, and his cozy little living space, which is so cute. I really enjoy the way it turned out. Even though it was hard to figure out the layout, it was okay. Then you can come across this little walkway, and if you look out the window, you can see some of Tiny Town. And then if we head through, you could turn right to get to the patio, but we're going to go through the right-hand door to Ziggy's main bathroom. I always think there's a sim in that shower, but there's not. And then right next door, we've got Ziggy's bedroom, which looks so cute. Really happy with the way Ziggy's house turned out. And then right downstairs from Ziggy's room, we have the crafting space, where all the Tiny Townies can come and hang out and do their little crafts, or just chat. And then here's the courtyard area that the walkway right above does provide some cover from the rain if you're walking across into the office. And that is Ziggy's house. Oh, I love the way it turned out. I think it looks so cute. One of the awesome things about this challenge is it really pushed me to try styles that I would never try. Like Ziggy's house is just not a style that I would typically build, and it was fun to get to try it out, and I actually really think it looks good, so I'm happy about that. And that wraps up our Tiny Town Challenge. That was our last house. So if you liked this episode and if you liked this series, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you thought in the comments below and what you think we should do from here. Should we put Tiny Town to rest? Should we start a new one? Should some of these characters make their way into other series? I don't know. Put your ideas in the comments. I want to know what you guys want to see. And if you're new here or if you just haven't already, please hit the subscription button. I would love to make it to 1,000 subscribers. I'm still a very baby, tiny channel, so 1,000 may not be a lot to some, but to me that would just be absolutely incredible, and every new follower counts. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one. Bye!